I want to introduce to you the HP Touchpad running webOS. It's one of 3 devices that we announced today, including the Veer and the Pre 3. Touchpad is a beautiful tablet device. It has great rounded curves surrounding a 9.7-inch 1024 by 768 display. The display has this great wide viewing angle technology, so you can look at it from almost anywhere. It also has Gorilla Glass for great reliability and robustness as you use it in your daily life. Inside, it's power-packed. It's got a dual CPU, 1.2 gigahertz processor from Qualcomm, and it's got this great Adreno GPU as well, which I'll show you when I show the game. Touchpad comes in both 16 and 32 gigabyte configurations for all your storage needs. It also has a 3-axis accelerometer, a gyroscope, a digital compass, and a front-facing camera for video conferencing. Touchpad also has a multitude of audio options. It's got stereo speakers in the front and supports HP Beats audio as well, not only through the speakers, but through the headset jack as well. Okay, what else do I have to talk about? So the other cool thing about the hardware is that it supports HP's Touchstone technology. And what that means is that we can use this charger, which is the Touchstone for Touchpad, and we can place Touchstone on it here, this way, or this way, and get it charged while we're using it. So it allows a real easy experience. Okay? Touchstone is also used in one of the other really cool demos that I've got for you today, which I'll show you in a little bit. So that's the overall roundup on the hardware. Now let me talk a little bit about the software, because the software is what makes all of this really hang together. We've got a beautiful display, we've got this big display, and now we want to use it. And webOS is a great way to take advantage of all this hardware. It really demonstrates the power of webOS to scale from phones like the Veer and the Pre 3 all the way up to Touchpad in a consistent and easy to use way. And at the core of it is multitasking. webOS is about letting you do multiple things at the same time in an easy and simple way. All right, so what does that mean? Well, cards are the way that we accomplish a lot of that multitasking. And cards are the fundamental principle for how applications behave. Each application is a card, and cards live on my workspace. And what that means is I can move through different applications and go into them without losing my state anywhere else. Each of these cards is a real live application that when I go into it, I can interact with directly. And that's really powerful. Cards can also be stacked. So I can group things that belong together. So my web browser pages, or my emails to my boss, or my reading that I was doing while I was relaxing as the other demo is going on. And the other awesome thing about cards is you can just toss them off the top of the screen when you're done. A really fun way to close your applications. But it's not just about cards. The other thing that's really great about webOS, and the thing that I think is even better about Touchpad and webOS, is how notifications are handled. Notifications are a way that webOS unobtrusively lets you deal with all the interruptions in your life. What does that mean? Well, if I tap here, I can see all kinds of emails coming in. Emails and messages, that is. So without having to switch to the email application, I can see my most recent emails. I can see if my boss is trying to get a hold of me or whether I'm just getting a whole bunch of spam. And I don't just have to look at the top one. I can use stacked notifications, and that's what you see here, to page through each one of the notifications. Or if I wanted to just ditch everything, I can swipe the whole thing off. But this is a really neat way to triage your email without losing what you're doing. And I really like it. All right, so let's talk about email then, because I just started on it. So the email application has been reimagined on Touchpad to really take advantage of the big screen. All right, so you see here an email that takes up the whole screen. I zoomed in so that I could just concentrate on this one email. I can forward, reply, do all the things that you'd normally do with emails. But that's not just what I want. WebOS lets me work the way I want to. So if I want to see not just one email, but my entire email inbox, all I do is drag this handle, and I can see my entire Exchange inbox. I can tap through it, I can pick other emails, I can pick other emails, or I can go all the way out here and see all of my inboxes. So let me do that for you again. So I'm going to tap this and bring it all the way in, and I'm going to drag this handle back out. See first my inbox, and then all of my mailboxes.
What is that feature called?
So this feature is called panels, and these things we're calling handles. So I can drag the handles in and out, or I can tap them to make them collapse. And I can leave the view however I want. I want 2, I want 3. It'll remain as I switch between different applications. And for me, that's really neat. So the other really cool thing about email is multi-select. So I get a lot of email, a couple hundred emails a day. And this is what helps me really deal with it quickly. Tap on this checkbox button, and now I can grab as many emails as I want, hit the delete button or the move button, and they're gone. A really simple way, instead of swiping through everything, I can just multi-select. Really great and powerful way to deal with your email. All right, so let's say I want to reply to Duke's email here. So I hit the reply button, and up comes the keyboard. Keyboard is great, really easy to type on, both in portrait and in landscape. And the other cool thing about the keyboard is it resizes. So if I hold down on the keyboard button here, I get options. I can make it large or small depending on my typing preferences, how I work. So say I want to do extra small, that's great. I can still type on it. And you'll also notice that it's got all the number keys here. So I don't have to go hunting around in symbol menus or anything like that. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I prefer medium. But let me also show you real quick that the keyboard works just as well in portrait, and it resizes the same way too. So if I wanted to see more of the email, or if I wanted to look at an email that was better in portrait, this is easy to do too.
Can I get a look at what Excel looks like? Just curious.
L is as big as it gets.
Sorry.
Are the keys as big as in landscape mode? Or do they resize a bit?
They are shorter this way, obviously, but I think they are as tall. I haven't measured it, but it definitely seems very typable. I've been using it in portrait as I took notes. I held it in one hand and typed with it like this. That was really easy, and it was also really easy to kind of put it on a flat surface and type like this. So I've really enjoyed playing with the keyboard here. The other cool thing I'll just point out is this next button allows me to move through all the different fields, so I don't have to go tap and keep going up and back. All right, so that's email. The other cool thing about email is that it's stacked. Each email is its own card. So if I don't want to deal with this email right now, I can hold it and I can move it anywhere else, maybe off to the side here, and deal with it later. I don't have to close it. I don't have to remember that it's a draft. It's just there in my workspace. And I can come back. I can have as many open emails as I want, but I can also go through, so I've got that open email, I can go cross-reference it with another email or anything else. Very simple for me to do. All right, so that's my email application. So the next thing I want to show you is photos. Okay? So the Photos application is a great demonstration of synergy. And synergy isn't just about contacts like we've shown in webOS in the past. It also allows you to bring all your photos into one place. So unlike, or without having to go to 3 or 4 or 5 different applications to go check out my photos from Facebook or PhotoBucket or Snapfish, I just go to one place and it pulls all the photos into one place and it lets me manage and view them here. So you can see these are my local photos, but if I scroll down, you can see these photo albums are tagged with the Facebook icon. And I can scroll through them in thumbnail mode here, or I can go zoom in and go play with my photos just like you might expect.
Double tap to zoom and all that.
Mm-hmm. And I can also, oops. But all the things that you would expect a Photos app to do are there. But we do a little bit more than that, and these are the things, that's the basics. These are things that really excite me about the Photo app. The first thing is Facebook comments. So I tap the little comments button there, and you can see that the comments from Facebook come down here. I can tap in here and respond back immediately. It's a really immediate and personal way to interact with your photos without having to go load up another website or anything like that. All right, the other thing that I really like about the Photos app, and this is because we're HP, is that we can print, and that we can print so easily. I press the print button, I press print, and I've got a printer underneath here, and that's it. I configured the printer very easily, and it works with pretty much any of HP's wireless or Ethernet-enabled printers. And that's really, really, really powerful and really easy. And it'll take a minute or so to print. I'll pull out the photo when we're done. All right, so the next thing, I want to show you is I want to show you the Kindle application. All right, so Kindle, as you saw in the presentation there, is an Amazon. We've been working to deliver a great solution for e-reading. All right, so I tap on the Kindle application here and launch it up. Wait a second or two, and you can see a whole bunch of books. To go read a book, I just tap on it, and I can go page through the book in a very easy and natural way. You can see that the Kindle app really shows off the beauty and clarity of this 9.7-inch display. It's easy to read, and really, anyway, it's easy to, really easy to read. The other thing that it does is it uses Amazon's Whisper Sync technology, so that it means wherever I've left off this book, you'll get to see it on all your other Amazon Kindle-enabled devices. And that's really powerful as well.
Can you change and resize the fonts?
I don't believe that you can here, or at least I don't have it in this demo. So the other thing I want to show you is games. So Armageddon Squadron is a great game from Polar Bit. They were able to develop this game really, really quickly. And you can see it shows off the awesome power of the Qualcomm CPU that we've got. I'm going to take it off of demo mode in a second, and then you can see how bad of a pilot I am, so don't expect me to fly a plane. But you can see the great power of the accelerometer, the gyroscope, and of the graphics CPU. So you can see I can shoot, and as you see, there's all kinds of great textures here. All the different objects moving around really demonstrates the power of the processor. A not too bad flying job by me. But this is an app like anything else.
Do you have any other games?
That's the only game I have to show to you today. But this is a card like anything else. So I can move back to my email and then come back to the game and pick up just where I left off. Hopefully without crashing.
Can you do that again, please?
Sure. So
Excuse me, did you mention, is there a card slot? No.
there is no expansion card slot. So I'm in email, right? And now I'm going to go back to my game. No! All right, so I'm not a good pilot. All right, so I showed you a game. Now I want to show you some stuff. Oh, first, let me show you a picture. So this is the picture that I printed earlier. It just came out. No trickery. You saw it coming out of the printer. So that's pretty cool, and a really slick integration.